Yes, I see it now.
Okay. So hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with this beautiful, gorgeous queen. So we've known each other from TikTok and yeah, you already know that I adore your content a lot and I'm so grateful for you to be here today.
Thank you
So maybe you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Viva, but on TikTok, I go by @Satirella. So I'm known as Satirella on TikTok. I usually talk about intraracial issues within the Black community, such as colorism and misogynoir. So that is what I am about. And I am currently a college student. So that's what I do when I'm not on TikTok. So yeah, nice to meet you guys. And I'm really happy to talk to you guys about anything and to answer questions.
Okay. So like, I don't know, normally my content is directed to white people. So of course I have many Black people that are watching my videos. So, but still, can you go by defining what colorism even is? Because I think we have that general misconception that even light-skinned people experience colorism, and that's something that's very wrong. And yeah, I think we should start by that.
Okay. So generally, colorism is a tough concept to understand. Colorism is basically the favoring of lighter skin within an ethnic group. So it could be seen within the Black community, within the Latino community, basically in the same ethnic group or in the same race. People who have a lighter skin are usually favored and viewed as superior or they viewed it as if they have better intellect over the darker skinned people. And this was derived from colonization. The idea that the closer you are to the white man, the closer in features and skin tone that you are to the white man, the superior you are. The closer you look to massa, the better you are, basically. So that was the idea that stemmed from colonization, from slavery, and we're still dealing with the remnants right now. So that's what colorism is in a nutshell.
So, like, why can't light-skinned people affect or experience colorism? I mean, they are the ones in question because they are the ones being favored, but they do not suffer from colorism, right?
Yes, lighter skinned people do not suffer from colorism. Colorism is a systemic issue, just like racism. Basically, you could compare it to racism to see the intersection. So in racism, white people are favored more. They get jobs easier. They're seen as more intellectual in society, right? So they benefit from that. That's a systemic issue. Black people are being oppressed in that sense. But when it comes to colorism, as I said before, you are closer to the white man. You are seen as more superior. So colorism is systemic and it affects darker skinned people in the Black community's ability to find jobs. They are not the beauty standard in the Black community. It's lighter skinned girls, usually with hazel eyes and curly hair, but that's a different story altogether. In Hollywood, darker skinned Black women are not represented. I could probably name 3 or 4 dark skinned women, but there are several light skinned Black women. So when it comes to the Black community, lighter people, especially when it comes to women, are viewed as the standard, as this is what beauty is versus darker skinned people. So in that sense, lighter skinned people cannot be victims of colorism. That's just the academic term of it. And I do understand that lighter skinned people do have identity issues that alienated in the Black community, but that is a different conversation from colorism. That is not what colorism is about.
Yeah. So when it comes to the media, like what's the position of light-skinned Black people, whether they have 2 Black parents, 1 Black parent, however, once they are considered Black, how can they, from their own light-skinned privilege, make use of it to help dismantle the system of colorism and also work against this favorism that comes from white supremacy,
Okay, so colorism is something that usually begins in the home when we have two siblings, one is lighter, one is darker, they're all Black, but usually, especially in African homes, African people know what I am talking about. Usually the lighter skinned sister is viewed as prettier and the darker skinned sister is viewed as not as beautiful. And how lighter skinned people play into it is that they accept the compliments and they're like, yes, I am pretty, I am this. Instead of standing up for their darker sister and saying that we are both as beautiful. So one step that they could take is to stand up for darker people and say, yes, we have been made to be the beauty standard, but darker skinned women or darker skinned people in general are just as beautiful as we are. Okay. So that is how we could start by doing that. Secondly, we need to stop perpetuating the idea that darker skinned people who talk about colorism are insecure in themselves.
And angry.
So yes, and angry and aggressive. I'm seen as an aggressive, angry, dark-skinned Black woman. I get that all the time. So basically, lighter-skinned people should stop perpetuating the idea that dark-skinned people are jealous of them and insecure when we bring it up, because that screams colorism. And it's like you're basically saying that you have something that you view as superior when you say that. When you say dark-skinned people are jealous of me, you're basically saying I have something that they wish they had, instead of saying I understand where you're coming from and this is not fair to you and we need to do better as a community. So acknowledging that. Thirdly, we should stop using the phrase we are all Black. Yes, we are all Black. Yes, we have a common oppressor, which is the white man, the racist white people. But within the Black community, we need to acknowledge the fact that darker skinned people are being oppressed in all aspects, especially in representation of the media. And we need to stop saying we're all Black and stop dismissing it when it's brought up. It's just like racist white people saying we're all human. I do not see any color. So let's just stop talking about it. And maybe it will go away. It does not work like that. Let's stop saying people who bring colorism up are being divisive in the Black community. It does not help at all. Also, when it comes
it's just like you said, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
What you just said, like that phrase, I don't see color, is like, I feel like strangling them, because how can you, like, not seeing color is like not seeing the struggle, not seeing the pain, not seeing the problem. So that's like you're literally being ignorant to the problem by choice, and you're even bragging about that stupidity. So that's even something. So by this definition you said now, especially this, we are all Black, or you are all Black, like especially when it comes to children like mine, because I'm really in this is what I always tell white parents of Black children, or mixed children, whoever wants to define it. However, we need to always also have these conversations we are having now with you, as in with the dark-skinned Black woman, because we need you to educate us so that we can educate our children. Because like my sons and my daughter, they are going to grow up being light-skinned Black people in predominantly white societies that are going to benefit from this favorism. So, but that means, by what you said, so even light-skinned Black people can like be colorists, right? They can be like, they take pride in that favorism instead of for them to reject it, right? That's like, is it similar to white people being like white being superior over Black people and them taking pride in racism? Is it? Yes. Can it be compared?
It's basically the same thing, just that one is interracial between white and Black people, and one is intraracial between Black people. And we are not helping the situation in the Black community. We are further oppressing other Black people, especially considering that you are Black and you know what we go through with the racist white people, and then you decide to do this to other Black people as well. It's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be said. I don't care what people say. I would say it as it is, and
as you
that's
should.
just what it is.
Yeah, because I find it, I'm also aware that this is a very super sensitive topic, and that this is not my place to talk about. That's also what I want to very clarify, because I am obviously not Black. So this is not, I will never judge or be like, oh, you are being a colorist. But at the same time, I think that this is still a very big topic that should be brought to light, because I think that also white people should be educated on colorism, because I think that we push that away from our societies, especially because we are like, black comes in all shades, but we are never like, oh, white comes in all shades, That's also why my children never getting the chance to identify as white is literally racism, because the system is like, you are too black to be white. But on the other hand, for instance, now let's say a woman from Russia, they are known to be very fair or fair complexion, or very pale complexion. She's not the same white than me. She has a different shade of white, but the system doesn't make no difference. They are like, white is white. And at the same time, we are differentiating white. For example, Spanish people, Italians, we call them Southerners, we call them like we give them that exotic touch. But at the same time, they are Europeans, but they're never classified as white in that sense, So we know that white does come in many shades, because the definition of white has been changed and adjusted to fit the narrative and the system over the centuries. But at the same time, they want to protect their whiteness to an extent that even people that are clearly 50% white don't get the chance to claim their whiteness, which I think that is also why children like mine are systematically seen as black. But then, of course, women like you, which is very understandable to me, have an issue when I be like, okay, I have 3 black children. They're like, but you're white. How can you have black kids, But at the same time, and for me, that's a very big struggle. And it's a very big, I constantly need to reflect and unlearn and relearn, because how am I going to call my kids? I think they are not biracial because there is no biracial human being,
Right.
They are not mixed because every human being is literally mixed. You need 2 human beings to make another human being.
Right.
So when you refer to my kids as mixed or biracial, but at the same time, you wouldn't refer to a white child that has an American and a Russian parent as mixed or biracial, then you're literally referring and limiting that biracial to their tone of the skin, which is racism, So, and furthermore, there are no races biologically spoken, I mean, of course, we know socially there are races, which shouldn't be the case because that's for the division, So I have a very hard time. I do not use those terms. When people ask me, I usually refer to my kids as black with a white mother. And from our Nigerian family, they are claimed the same way than the other children are claimed, They are just seen as Nigerians that happen to have a white mother. So, but at the same time, this is the topic. This is exactly the problem. They can be colorists. At the same time, they experience racism, but they are still being favored by the system because they are closer to whites. So what can I, as a person that's outside of the colorism problem, but still inside of the colorism problem, because colorism comes from racism. I mean, what can I do to educate fellow white people about this topic, without like crossing my boundaries?
Right. So basically your question is, how could you talk to white people and educate them about colorism? And
Yes.
you also had an issue with the identity of your children, which is something that is really big. I mean, in the ideal world, people should be able, like children who have 2 different races, like why are races even a thing? As you said, children who have parents of 2 different races should be able to put on paper whatever race they want to. But it's like society is just pushing back on that. Yeah. And that's something that is really, really disturbing. Depending on the part of the world that they are in, they could be classified as either, if they go to Africa and, they have no background on their parents and whatever, they would be referred to as white people. I come from Ghana. Looking at, I've seen the pictures of your children. They will call them white people. But yes, in the USA, always this problem of where do we classify children who have parents of 2 different races. And I don't know how we are going to solve this problem, but I do not know how to tackle society on that. But I feel like since the white man is trying to protect and not bring any bad blood into their ideal whiteness, they would, in my opinion, they would be classified as Black, like socially and like systemically, right? But when it comes to the issue of colorism, you were asking, how are you going to talk to other white people about this? One thing I've noticed from the conversation about racism is that white people do not want to hear about any form of discrimination, especially if it benefits them. They do not
Say no
want
more.
to hear it, okay? And the white people also play into colorism because usually they're like directors of big movies and stuff like that. They tend to pick, and when it comes to representing a Black person in their movies, they would pick the Black person that is closest to their whiteness. They add to it. And as a white woman in the white society, I believe that the best way to go about it would be to talk to other white people in a nice way, because they really tend to be resistant to conversations about discrimination, but talk to them in a white way, in the right way, and let them know that, look, don't say you do not see color. I know you see color. And even within Black people, we do know that even from the times of slavery, the lighter people were favored more. They were seen as more intellectual. Those who are close, the Black people who look ambiguous and are closer in whiteness to us, they're usually favored more. And if we really want to get rid of racism as a whole, colorism needs to be spoken about. And if we really want to see Black people on the same pedestal as white people, we need to be accommodating of all shades of Black, because what we usually do is we say we're not racist, and then we scoop the Black people who could straighten their hair and pass as white. We scoop them out and then leave out the dark Black skin people, the brown, Black, dark skin people who look like me. And even if I straighten my hair, I am still Black. Everybody knows that. So just having that conversation, bringing awareness, using your platform to talk about these things. And, you know, they would listen to you over me. I am the aggressive Black
Which
woman.
is racism too.
Yes, so they will listen to you over me. So if you talk about it and let them know that, you know, there's this general trend of us scooping up lighter skinned Black people who are closer to us in complexion and the acceptable Black people, you will bring their attention on that. You will get some backlash, as I always do, but ignore it. Delete some comments if you want. But
the way I block people, I don't even play. I don't even have that time. I will not even argue with you.
Right.
Because
and I was like, I'm not even going to argue anymore. I'm just going to block, because I know what I'm talking about. I read the literature. I see the trends. And, you know, you're wrong. I am right, because I am doing my reading. So,
but I think it's also important to know that colorism is not a new something. Like, I feel like, you know, social media is bringing things up. Like, I literally had white people telling me, oh, 2020 was such a year of awareness when it comes to racism. I was like, where the hell have you been the last 600 years of human history? Like, awareness? How? What? Where? Who?
Exactly. Exactly. And people do not listen to issues of discrimination unless we are loud, unless we are violent, unless we are aggressive. People do not see us when we are calm and we're talking about it, but when we get aggressive, then people pay attention to us. And then we get this stereotype of being the aggressive, violent Black people, especially Black women. Nobody was listening to me when I was talking about colorism on the low and being nice. But once I yelled in the camera, everybody wanted to come at me and call me the aggressive Black woman. And they're now listening to what colorism is. Somebody even told me the fact that you add ism to a word does not even make it a word, because they've never heard of what colorism is until I yelled and until I was aggressive. Nobody saw the nice side of me, but once I get aggressive, I am the violent, loud Black woman. And that needs to go. That needs to stop.
Well, white people do this like a lot. Like when I do critical whiteness trainings. Okay, I work with white people and teaching them together with the Kenyan woman. We do that together we do workshops together. So because it's always good, we have her perspective and then we have my perspective, because I am on the beneficial side, the oppressing side of history, and she's on the victim side of the history. Of course, always in, because I'm not victimizing Black people, because people like to twist my words a lot. So even then, I always have white people telling me, oh, you only talk in favor of Black people because you're riding a Black D. That's literally one of the most common statements I actually get. Like I'm being like, oh, Black people, please come and receive me. I love you. I am effing one of your guys.
They're calling you a pick me girl.
Exactly.
That you want Black people to pick you. Yeah. Yes, the hate is real. I was told that I am talking about colorism because I am jealous of the light-skinned girls. I hate light-skinned girls, and it's because Black men say that dark-skinned Black women have stinky vaginas, and that is why I am mad and talking about it. Yes, I have had a lot of things said to me, so I am not even phased anymore. I'm going to keep being the loud Black woman that I am until somebody hears what I am saying. It needs to go. And I've had comments. Yeah, I've had comments saying, oh, colorism is not going to go away, so let's just stop talking about it. Like, let's just stop. And I'm like, if a white man told you that racism is not going to go away, so stop protesting and stop talking about it, how would you feel about that? It's the same Black people who are not willing to get rid of colorism but want to approach a white man on racism. I do not care. I am going to say it. We, as Black people, are part of the problem, and we needed to get it together. Yeah. We needed to get it together, because we can't oppress fellow Black people when they talk and then expect the white man not to talk over us in general.
That's similar to tribalism too. Like, you know, but I think the media has such a big influence, the whitewashed media, that I think if, let's just say tomorrow, Hollywood, the whole of the media will start employing and hiring and representing dark-skinned people in, I'm not talking about giving dark-skinned women like Lupita Nyong'o an Oscar for acting a slave, which is, to my opinion, one of the most disgusting things that happened in Hollywood so far. But, you know, yeah, I mean, like, if they would wake up tomorrow and start giving dark-skinned women that stage, I think the white man knows about the influence he has on colorism, and why this colorism keeps being enabled, because it creates division, and division is exactly what white supremacy feeds off, you know. So when we are talking about colorism, the issue can never be spoken about without addressing white people, especially the systematical whiteness, you know, that so desperately wants to be protected and seen as superior, because had it been they didn't start this bullshit in the first place, then dark-skinned Black people wouldn't be seen as less, you know. So it still goes back to the same origin of racism. It still goes back to the white man, you know.
Right. And it's like white directors they'll be like, okay, we're gonna cast dark-skinned Black women, we hear you, and they will cast them as the ghetto, ratchet, uneducated, non-English speaking person in the movie. Yeah. So when Black girls see these movies, they see the dark-skinned Black woman being the ghetto one, right? Yeah. And then they're like, like, how do you think they're gonna feel about themselves? It starts with a white man too. And they will cast the white passing Black person or the light-skinned Black person as the woman who has her life together and educated. And you see these like dark-skinned girls being jealous of her in the movie, and like it just perpetuates this idea that the dark-skinned Black woman is always going to be under the lighter skinned one, and then we are just jealous of them, and it just creates this whole cycle of, you know, just not addressing the issue. And it's like, we're talking about colorism within the race, but like we also need to address the white man. I am holding both the white man who keeps the system in place, because he is basically dividing the Black community by saying that those closer to whiteness are better, because they know when Black people come together, it's over. It's game over. It's uno for them. Exactly. So they do that. And then so the white people who do that, I'm holding them accountable. And also the Black people, the light-skinned Black women, the Black men who perpetuate this idea, who put out this idea, I don't want a dark skinned woman because they're ghetto and like they're dirty and they're very unkempt and they're uneducated. Yes, those. And then the light skinned Black women who say, well, you're just mad because men don't like you. I'm holding all those groups of people accountable. I don't care who you are. Yes, we are all Black, but I will still hold you accountable. And the white man too. I'm holding everyone accountable.
It's you, and you too.
And thank you, period. All of you. I don't care if we are sisters. You are part of the problem. You need to be addressed.
Yeah, I think, so and that's also, you know, because like when I look at the media, I know that when my children see you in TV, they are going to feel represented. They are going to feel like belonging. But when you see my children in TV, you will never feel that, you know, you will never be like, oh, that's me, you know, oh, that's who I stand for. Oh, this is who I identify with, you know. So I think it's also very important. Like I have this conversation. I do talk about this with my son. Like the two, they are still little, but I mean, like my oldest son, he's going to be 12. So he's aware of the fact that he has seen it in Nigeria, just like you said earlier. In Nigeria, some people call him Oyibo or Onyocha, which means white person, which absolutely drives him mad because when he was 4 years old, he made a statement. I was like, when I look at myself in the mirror, he used to have a very big round afro then because he's a diehard Michael Jackson fan. So it was always combed up. So it was really big. And he had the issue of people like calling him names. So then he was like, Mama, he told me, Mama, you know, when I look in the mirror, I see my brown skin and I see my black eyes and I see my nose and I see my huge hair. That's why I see Africa first. And then I see Germany later because the brown is not as brown as Daddy's brown. But, you know, so he was just judging from the eyes of a child. But I think that statement is so deep. And he now knows, or he's now aware of the fact that he experiences racism, yes. But at the same time, he is still being favored and, you know, seen as better because he's closer to the white man. So I think if we don't have this conversation with our children that are labeled Black by societies, they will grow up being colorists too, you know?
Right. You know, mixed children, as they're called. Why do we call them that? What usually we put in a Black category, and in the Black community, they are, you know, them and the lighter skinned Black people are seen as the standard. And if we don't talk to them and educate them about this privilege that they have, they're going to grow up not acknowledging it or thinking they're better, and other people are just jealous of them, which is not true. You know, so it's really important that we do have that conversation with them. So I agree with you 100% on that.
Okay. So I think do you want to say anything else? Do you have anything to say maybe to a dark skin or a Black people in general watching you? Or even white people? I mean, do you have anything to say to close this conversation?
Yes, like in general, just as racism is a thing, colorism is a thing. Bleaching creams are booming in the market for a reason, because light skin is seen as better in the Black community. Yes, light skin people are being alienated from their Blackness and they're being told they're not Black, but that is not what colorism is. Colorism is when lighter skin people are being favored in the media and women who look like myself are not being represented. So I really feel like it's important that we address it as Black people. We eradicate that instead of pointing fingers at the white man, because we are part of the problem. And white people, you too, you are part of the problem too, because you would pick the Black people who are closer in proximity to you and feed it in their heads that they are better than the Black people who have more Afrocentric features and who have darker skin. So it goes both ways. I'm holding both parties accountable, and it's a conversation that needs to be had and it needs to be addressed. Colorism is real, just as racism is real, and we need to keep fighting against it. So that is all I have to say.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful for you to have been here, for your time. And I think your message is super important. I'm very, very grateful that you took the time to be here with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for everybody for watching.
Thank you guys. Bye.